Hi, everyone. This last topic I wanted to present to you, it seems to be more and more popular, and it's a little more savory than actually hiring somebody to write your work for you, but it's something that needs to be addressed, and it's actually viable research that you do while you're writing a book. Now, you can take it to extremes, at which point you become fan fiction, and I'm not interested in anybody writing fan fiction. What I'm talking about here is that you find common elements in what's popular and what are bestsellers, and you use all these elements, put them together, and make something brand new. I guess it would almost be like a rap doing sampling, where you take something and you turn it into something completely different. So that's what this lecture is going to be about, is how to program your next bestseller based on what's big now. I've got a Udemy course in which I encourage my students to challenge me to reinterpret popular book covers off Amazon. Now, what you do is you look at the book covers on Amazon and you notice the colors and maybe particular designs, animals, title elements, fonts, and you sample them, so on, and you rearrange them, and you put them together to create something that seems similar and will catch people's eye in a similar way, but is not the same. So the secret lies in the word reinterpretation. So you might be asking, what is reinterpretation and how does it differ from copying? Well, here's what the word reinterpretation means to me. If you look at it, okay, if I wanted to reinterpret an Amazon bestseller, what I would do is I would search Amazon for hit titles in whatever target niche I want to write. So let's say it's about werewolves or it's about wizards or whatever target you want to search for. I want to write about this, and you want to find out what's big in that area and why. So you deconstruct the chosen top-selling story, such as a hit novel, into its constituent parts of plot, character, and place. We know these. These are its basic parts, so you're starting to pull it apart. You research and identify the archetypal, mythological character types that are being employed, and the standard character and story arcs being utilized, and even the types of locations required by each scene. And you turn this all into a huge stew. Some of the parts you throw out. I don't like this character. I don't like that. The ending of this story absolutely stinks, but the rest of it is great. So keep these kind of plot elements. View a book as your blueprint for outlining your next book. And guess what? You don't have to use just one book. We're going to talk about merging books later. So how will you incorporate that mid-book dread into your novel? Maybe you're reading a book that has particularly great mid-book dread. A vampire? I think not. Maybe a werewolf at worst, right? So trust me. You've been armed with all the tricks by now to deconstruct any hit novel into its constituent parts. So you're ready. Start looking and reading these novels. So armed with the basic elements of your next hit novel, write your story. And it's going to be completely different. Now, you still don't have a hit? Let me present another possibility. What about the ultimate mashups? Mashups can be very obvious, like the latest Jane Austens that were turned into zombie novels. That's quite a different mashup. So when you look at merging multiple hits into a mashup, let me give you this as an example. I love several scenes and characters from Stoker's Dracula. But what would it be like if I used it to tell a Nicholas Sparks story? So you get your plot from Nicholas Sparks, and you get your characters and your scenes from Stoker's Dracula. That would be an interesting story to tell, and that's kind of a crude mashup. Another would be, what if Julia Child type character, who's a famous TV chef, or was, what if that style of character was a zombie? That would really cause some problems in shooting episodes. So what about something more subtle, though? What about recasting and setting a classic plot. So you take a classic plot like Emma or Hamlet. How many times have those been done? And you recast it into a space scene in outer space, and you have werewolves, zombies as characters. I don't know. You change the casting and the plotting, or rather the casting and the setting, and you use the plot. What about casting a young student wizard, I won't mention the name, in your next yarn? That's an idea. Just take that element from some story. What about reimagining a concept, like telling a story backward? I was so impressed by Nolan's Memento, if you ever saw that movie, where he actually told a story backward because the main character had short-term memory lapse and he could only remember 15 minutes at a time. So they told the story 15 minutes at a time backwards. You didn't know what they were talking about until you saw the previous 15 minutes and you didn't know what that was about. And this is the way the character lived his life, and you got to experience that by the way he told the story. That's clever. I'd always wanted to reuse that, but I haven't found where. So reuse a concept from a story. Turn this into a big stew and write your next hit. Now, what I want to do is I want to go over to Amazon just briefly and show you how to find some hits. Here we are on Amazon. The first thing you want to do is you want to search, but you want to search the Kindle store. So do the little pull down next to the search box, pick Kindle store, and then pick what you're interested in. Right? We talked about werewolves at some point. Let's see what's big in werewolves. And immediately we get command completion suggestions, which suggests and shifters. How about a werewolf's romance? How about just a werewolf? Now let's go with werewolves. Romance and with whisper's sake. Okay, of Montana. These must be particular storylines, but these aren't. These are ideas for stories that I should keep track of. Now we enter it and we see, oh, what's number one? Well, how tough is this area to get into? Actually, look at this. This is not doing very well at all and only has 2 stars. This doesn't have any hits. Werewolves is a really soft category. You should go after this. But you might look around for some hits. This is a relative hit, I guess, in werewolves. So you could pick off... there's 13 Tales in it, too, for 99 cents. So there you go. I don't know how... That doesn't seem to be dominating the scene. Here's something. So, No Such Thing as Werewolves. Deathless Book 1. You might want to research that and see what other people are doing in the area and what's a hit. Now, there are some real obvious hits that you can also break down. Such things as Twilight and the Harry Potter series. You can get ideas from those. The classic Lord of the Rings trilogy, Dracula, and so on. All of these things that have classic stories and that go back to mythology, which you can, I guess, learn from Bill Moyer, who did a lot of stuff on the mythology and so on, and the character archetypes used in mythological stories. So anyway, research all that stuff, get it down to its basic components, and then write your story. So that's it for now. In the next lecture is actually the section project, and I hope you do it. I'll see you in the next lecture.